guys? Today we have a very fun event for you. This is the URD GTE cars around Monza. This is courtesy of REVS Sim Racing UK. We are starting in 10th. It is a 1.5 hour race. And just wait till you see what happens. Now last week they did the formation lap super slow. So I have a feeling it'll be much of the same here. But either way, I have a feeling I should be able to be much more competitive at least than I was last week. Last week I wasn't competitive at all. I was just sliding around most of the race. And it didn't help that I got rear-ended in the first corner. And lost my wing. But should be a pretty fun race, actually. Like I said, they take this lap way too slow. It's really frustrating. They really want to generate some sort of heat in the tires and brakes, but you just can't. Looks like it's actually the guy in second holding everybody up this time. This style of formation lap is just awful. Like, I wish there was a certain delta time you had to hit for your formation lap. All these guys are just stopping for no reason in the middle of the straightaway. Like, look at the gap that 7th place has. Like, the Parabolica is a great place to put heat through your tires, but not when you do this. Oh well. I'll have to work with basically cold brakes. Just drag the brake a bit here, I guess. See what we can do. At least some heat into it. Not going to be enough no matter what I do. Alright, we're coming up to our spot here. Oop. But again, with enough people behind us, we're not going to keep any of that heat, unfortunately. But we'll see what we can do here. Should be fun. An hour and a half around Monza. So there's plenty of time to make mistakes, there's plenty of time to recover from mistakes, plenty of time for other people to make mistakes. Why has it not? Oh, one person's back there, wasn't it? Alright, here we go. Oh, that was a really bad start for me. So careful in the first corner here. Lots of room on the outside and the inside. Doesn't really matter that we got that cut track warning. I have to lift a little bit here. Can't really make anything of a run. Actually wanted to slide in behind him, but that did not work out how I really wanted it to. I wasn't expecting him to also brake where I broke, which was earlier than I normally would for the speed I was carrying. The other possibility is that a lot of these guys will probably be on hard tires, so it's entirely possible that I will just have a little bit more speed than they will, just being on mediums. But the main thing is to minimize my amount of mistakes, preferably to zero, but knowing myself, at least minimize them as much as possible. I have not done very much racing in traffic around here, so the way the car reacts in the draft is going to be a bit of a new thing, particularly from the front end. I have a feeling it's going to wash out a bit more than I'm used to from the front end. Like that into the parabolic was a perfect example there. To really feel out the car here the first couple laps. Sort of feel what we have to work with, and again, we want to avoid pushing super hard, but we still do want to push to a pretty constant pace here. And the track really isn't very rubbered in yet either. So our brake points will be quite a bit more safe for the first part here. Be late in the race. Oh man. Yeah, that's how it goes, unfortunately, when a new track comes out. Later on today, when I test it out for the Assetto Corsa stuff, I'm not even going to bother jumping in online. Unless I just make my own room, because again, it's going to be nothing but Brands Hatch for like an entire week. Which is going to be really, really annoying. But I am interested to try those cars out later today. See how they feel, particularly the two GT3 ones. I have a feeling the 650S will be very, very good. It'll probably feel similar to the Lamborghini, but more stable. And the AMG should be a big old beast on the straightaways. That's what I'm looking forward to. Oh, excuse me. Being a little too safe into that first corner right now. Costing me time. Got a good braking point for that second chicane now. Nice and stable. Big ol' sneeze. Well, to be fair, most of the cars in Assetto Corsa on their default setups will understeer quite a bit. So I'm fully prepared to have to alter the setups quite a bit. But he blew the entry to that chicane. I've done that many a time for that. For the entry to the Variante Ascari. gap ahead actually seems pretty consistent, which is good for me. 53 is a little slower than I'd like. But again, anything at the 52s really is okay for my ultimate race pace. Although I prefer in the 51.5s like I did in practice or warm-up, which is awesome. Oh, I blew that entry quite a bit. It's gonna lose quite a bit of time. Oh, that's good. Maybe they're getting away from that understeer on the default setups then. Because understeer is safe to drive, but it's not very fun to drive on default. And a lot of people aren't really willing to invest a bunch of time, obviously, to get the setups into their liking, so I kind of like when default setups run more middle ground, as opposed to being super safe or super aggressive. Wow, that was one of the best Estoril chicanes I've ever done. I was able to put full throttle on and never take it off. Oh, that was not a good entry. Felt like I carried way too much speed, but actually I carried the perfect amount. But I just felt like I was barreling in the corner, so I really put the hammer down on the brakes. That could have been a much better lap. That's alright. Still braking a little early there. But the guy behind is not gaining on me through that chicane, which is good. And I'm actually gaining on the guy ahead. Little by little. Again, the fact that I can keep the car behind me while he's in my draft is good news for me. Well, for now anyway. I think he's carrying a little bit more downforce than I am, considering how he gets through the Lesmos here. Because I basically have to slide through both of them every single time. Yeah, I have a feeling I won't care for the old cars all that much, but that's just more my style and mentality, as opposed to the cars themselves. If I really throw my car at the exit of the Estoril chicane, it really sticks for me. I just think that's not... Well, my tires look alright though, after 10 minutes. So maybe it's actually okay to do that. Oh, it's a little early on the throttle. Oh, I gotta stay with it. I am glad that is not grass anymore there. It's probably gonna try and get me this time. Just defend the inside here as best we can. Hey, we actually get our defense. I usually can't defend very well through that chicane. One of the advantages of the fact that I have not very much downforce, but a load of power in the Viper. The fact that it does actually let me defend on the straightaways. This is exactly what I wanted though. I wanted to be able to actually mix it up with some people this time. Because again, at Estoril I was just so slow, it was never going to happen. Oh, that was really bad. You can just see how much time that lost me. Oh, I thought for sure he'd go for the pass there. No, he'll get me here though. That poor exit will give him enough speed around the outside. Lesmos are far and away my weakest point on this whole track. Oh, this is a good battle. I need to start looking forward more than I'm looking backward, though. It's causing me to miss break points. Nope. Nope. He'll get me here. I wanted to make sure he had room there, in case he was way to the inside. Which is why I stayed half off track there. Starting to make too many mistakes now. See if we can't fight back here at least. Again, if the guys in front start battling, it helps also. Yeah, the P-car stuff is becoming less and less enticing though. Oh, now he's making the mistakes being out front. We might be trading this position back and forth the whole race. The tough thing is remembering that we're only 13 minutes into an hour-and-a-half race. We have a long way to go. Oh man, that person just barely got out of the way in time. This is shaping up to be quite the intense battle here. Oh, we got a good parabolica this time. This draft here. No, he's just as fast in a straight line as I am. Wasn't quite close enough to really give that a go, because I would have been jumping out at the very last second, which would have been very dive bomby, which I'm not keen on doing. 51.3? Oh, when did I do a 51.3? Oh, actually, I forgot. That is going to be the, that's going to have the Formula Renault 3.5, I think, or at least a car that's very similar. So I actually might get that one. I forgot I had seen information about that one. Every single game I've driven the Formula Renault 3.5 in, it's been a fantastic car. Matthews is pushing just as hard as I am. It's so much easier being the car behind.
No,
it really is. Might get this go now. I thought about it, but I wasn't really close enough, and I'm getting so much understeer. It costs you so much time out of the parabolica. I'm so inconsistent at the parabolica, and it's destroying me. Hey, Plex. I didn't know Renault ever made a Le Mans car. That's interesting. I mean, even as an engine supplier. But Alpine has made some really fun cars to drive in the past. So that would probably be a really fun car to drive. I mean, let's be honest, if it's like $3 or $4, I'll probably end up picking it up. It's just if they make it $8, I might not. Because even the Assetto Corsa one for $8 was right on the edge of what I was willing to do. That explains why I wasn't aware of it. I only became aware of Le Mans as a thing in the late 90s. About the same time I started picking up Formula One, really. Although I knew about Le Mans before I knew about Formula One. I think I just need to brake a little later into the Parabolica. I'm hitting what should be the apex a little earlier than I should be, although that was a 50.9. It was my fastest lap of the race. Can't complain too much. That was a really late move, which is why I just went ahead and went for the apex. Because he didn't even show that he wanted to do that move until we were both already braking for the corner. It definitely wasn't the dive bomb. It just wasn't the move I was super happy with. Oh, nope. Go ahead and give that position up. Because technically I was ahead going in, but whenever it's really on the edge like that, it's just safer to go ahead and give the position over and try and fight back for it. I mean, he is definitely faster than I am anyway, because he raced like a 4-second gap in 2 laps. That's why I'm not really too shaken up about letting him by there. But it's also one of those things where the faster you are as a driver, the more I expect you to make good high percentage moves and make them stick. And it's why I have less of a tolerance for those types of people pulling off low percentage poor moves. So basically, if you're like in the top 3 consistently, and you try and pull off like a late braking dive bomb, then we ain't having it. I'm just going to turn into the apex and you better not be there. Now that being said, if you're in the top 3 and you're pulling off a legitimate late braking maneuver that you made obvious before we got to the braking zone, or at least right as we get to the braking zone, then by all means, you just outbroke me. The ones I hate are when both of us start braking and then they shoot to the inside. That's when you've left it too late. And you aren't making an actual move. Oh my word. I've got to adjust my braking for that corner evidently. Holy cow. I have not had issues with that corner in all of practice or qualifying or warm-up. Completely brand new development that I don't care for. Now he's going to be in my in my hair, which is unfortunate. It's exactly what I was talking about earlier. I need to minimize these mistakes, not keep making silly ones that I haven't made before. I'm trying to be more aggressive than I should be. Unfortunate thing is a lot of times people who are slower than you, when they're out by their own selves, can often get quite the speed boost by being around you. I've noticed that many times where there'll be somebody that I'm 3 or 4 tenths faster per lap than. They suddenly get up to me and then they just, for some reason, find a bunch of time. 55. Ooh, that's such a bad lap. Surprised that pink car hasn't gotten by the Matthews yet. I guess maybe he's not quite as fast in a straight line as he should be. Alright, we've adjusted our brake point back to where it should be for that corner. I don't know how I got into my head that it was further than it was. But at least that lap I proved to myself that I can get it right back to where it needs to be. Which is good. Ah, elbow itches. Now we can try and run down these two again. I'm getting through the Estoril chicane better again also. Basically we're back in our groove a bit. It depends on what you want. If you want the highest quality image, PNG is going to be better. If you want the most compatible for online and the smallest image, or smaller image, then JPEG is going to be better for that. I tend to save everything as a PNG though. And then if I have to, I will convert it to a JPEG afterwards. The other thing that's nice about PNGs is they save transparency in a very nice way. Oh, no worries. If I'm in a position where I really don't feel comfortable answering it, or I really need to concentrate, I'll just not answer or concentrate and then get to it when I can. I mean, we're almost a half an hour in. This is the point of the race where everybody's just settling into their grooves, trying to find their space and their timing, and sort of settle into their tire wear and their fuel wear, and feel out what they're going to need the car to do later. Like right now, I need to be looking at my fuel in about 2 minutes time. Actually, right about now. So I'm going to need to put in about 50 liters when I come in. Actually, a little bit more. So I actually might as well start setting up my pit stop anytime now, and then I can just adjust it later as we get closer to it. So I'm probably going to put in 60 to be really, really safe. Pit stop. And actually, I probably won't need to take tires if this wear rate continues. So it looks like my practice race was actually pretty... oh, somebody quit. That's unfortunate. But it looks like the practice race was pretty spot on in terms of what it predicted, so... I don't think we will need to change tires. Obviously, we can change that pretty easily if we need to. Although that being said, I don't know if these fuel at the same time as they change tires or not. If they do both tires and fuel at the same time, then taking 60 liters means we might as well change tires. If they do them one after the other, then there's no reason to change tires. It will literally only cost us time that we don't really need to spend. But I think for my driving style, it's going to be safer to change tires anyway. Just have the freshest rubber that we can at the end. So we go with S8s, which are mediums. Let's go ahead and assume that we're going to change tires, and then if it comes into the equation that it's going to get us 3 or 4 positions to not do it, try that. But I doubt that's going to be the case. Looks like the pink car spun out again. this has brought Matthews right back into my sights. Yeah, right now I'm just sort of settling into a groove that I can feel consistent and safe to run, really for the rest of the race. Oh, somebody's pitting. That's genuinely surprising. I also wonder if they didn't have an issue of some kind. Right, now we can get racy again. Even being that far back, the car still washed out a little bit on me. I had to give it a shot. If I had tried to back out, I would have lost even more time here. Oh, I hit the grass. Oh, wow. Okay. Whew. That probably didn't look very extravagant, but holy cow, that was really close. Basically, as I was braking, I clipped the grass on the right-hand side, and the car really wanted to slide and skid and spin itself. I had to slow down an extra gear just to save. Holy cow. Those moments are so scary. Another person leaving. God, we're not going to finish with very many people, unfortunately. Ooh. This is definitely going to be a run. Head into turn 1. Make the move well known, way ahead of time. Try and leave space. Oh, he didn't shoot for it, so we didn't have to leave space in the second half. Woohoo! Alright, we got that move done for now. I gotta continue forward, try and pull away as fast as we can, because he's gonna want that back. I need to also not overdrive the car insanely. Trying to pull away. Oh, he got to that chicane real well. Getting through there a little bit better. I'm trying to take it a little bit safer and slower, just to get through the Lesmos cleanly. Working does indeed suck. Tried to get myself to edit some videos this morning and didn't get to it. Just couldn't get myself motivated to do it. Now Matthews and Van are behind me fighting, which is good for me. It's very good for me. Who's second place is in the pits. I'm guessing the guys who took hards are probably just racing until they can put enough fuel in, and then just putting enough fuel in for 30 minutes, and then going from there. So we got 30 minutes down. That was my fastest lap of the race. I just need to be smooth and consistent, not even worry about the fact that there's anybody behind us. Just be nice and smooth and safe. Yeah, he just, Loeffler just took fuel. He got back out way ahead of me. But he only took fuel in his pit stop. The other reason I need to try and create a gap here is, at this point, I'm planning to take tires. So with that plan still in place, I need a pretty big gap. try and make up for the fact that I'm going to be doing that. That being said, I still have the option to not take tires. And another person leaves. He was in 6th. What in the world? Who knows, maybe he blew up his car or something. It literally is night and day racing a race when you have a decent setup or a good setup as opposed to racing a race when you have a crap one. It's like at Estoril, I had a terrible race. Oh, he must have just disconnected. Oh, that sucks for him. But it really is night and day. But if you actually have a decent setup or a terrible one. A decent setup lets you drive around and race with other people. I was a second slower than my previous lap, whereas a crap setup really doesn't let you. Well, that was technically a track cut. Oops. Unfortunately, I think Lang is now a lap down. I think it just immediately takes him to the pits. Which is really unfortunate for him. Hey, that was a pretty good first place one. They're keeping the pressure on, but they're making small mistakes and I'm not making mistakes at this point. So that's giving me a slight advantage. Just need to keep that idea going, basically. Keep avoiding the mistakes. But I made a ton of mistakes earlier. I need to not do that. Whew. Alright, we got about 20 minutes left in fuel. Oh, that was really way too late on acceleration. And you can just see how much time that lost me. Ooh, Van got around Matthews. Loeffler is in the pits again. Almost wonder if he didn't have a penalty. Pit lane entry speed start is much further back than you expect it to be. So if people are expecting it to be where the pit entry light is, probably be getting penalties from that because it's actually where the sign is on the right hand side on pit entry. Unfortunately, with my traction control setting, that second Lesmo, I do not exit as quick as I really should. There, we finally got a good entry to the Variante Ascari. Oh, somebody put a 48.7 in. I think that's very close to what pole time was. Ran a little wide there. Back in the 51s at least. Obviously I'd rather be in the 50s, but with my tires where they're at. feel like we definitely will not need to switch tires though. I mean, tires in RFactor 2, you tend to not really feel a ton of degradation until you get down to like 50. And then once you get down to like 20, they're just done for. But I feel like I can leave the same tires on. And the biggest advantage to that is it just makes your pit stop so much shorter. Uh-oh. Did not get the entry right there. So I think for now, we're actually going to switch this back to no tires. I feel really confident in the tires right now. Also, let's see, okay, 20 minutes still on fuel. That's going to take us down right at about 30. So I think we have the right amount of fuel to put in. Yeah, the fuel that we're going to put in is going to be a little bit safe. Actually, really safe, but I do not want to run out of fuel. I've run out of fuel a couple times and it is not ever fun. Hey, back in the 50s. Ooh, I wonder if Matthew's pitted. No, he doesn't have a number next to his name, so he hasn't. He must have just had some big mistake to be all the way back. Oh, now he's pitting. I wonder if some of the guys ran on softs. Maybe that's why their pace is suddenly going off at 52 minutes. I mean, if they're running softs, they're gonna have a really tough time doing a one stopper with softs on each side. I mean, I guess if you were really good to your tires on the second stint, or if you ran the first tires real long, you could make it work. We got Van behind us again. We've already seen he's more than willing to make low percentage moves and late low percentage moves. Oh, that was real bad. Wow. I'm actually glad I ran wide because he would have just slammed into me. That would have been a big old mess. I mean, because he still went straight out to the gravel. Even seeing the mistake that I made, like he didn't lift, he didn't slow down, he didn't do anything. He just stayed in it. Like that would have been a real bad situation. Nothing personally. I was only at 9th. I'm so confused. Like again, this is unfortunate. I think we're only going to end with like 10 people. I'm almost tempted to throw softs on for the last stint. But I've done so little practice on them, I don't think it would be a very smart move. You're a lap down, dude. Don't. Don't be this guy. He's still gonna go for it. Don't ever be that guy. That's awful right there. Like, it's fine if you're significantly faster than me and you can not only get around me but then immediately pull away. but that was the... Well, I no longer have very much respect for the two big cars, that's for sure. Lots of people pitting now. I mean, if we're honest, I already didn't have very much respect for the leading big car here. Because he had already tried to make 2 low percentage moves. Waffler's almost back up to me. He's very, very fast, and he's had to make an extra pit stop, so he's probably not going to be super happy. Going back and forth now and if I want tires or not. Oops. I think we're technically in 5th right now. Yeah, we are. Technically in the top 5. Even if it's just for a little while, I'll take it. The crazy thing is Loeffler's name on the mini-map shortens to ALO, like Alonso. I guess most of those people in the pits are people who have exited the race. Is this another car that we're both catching up to? Is this a lapped car? No, this is a lapped car because it's blue. Basically, if the car doesn't have a number on it on the mini-map, then it's not a car you're racing with. Oh, man. This is what's making me think that taking tires would be a good choice. And I'm already taking so much fuel. Just saying I can't just take a left front. I think we'll take tires. It's going to be this safer choice, which I tend to go for. And I think it's going to allow me to be racier towards the end. I also have to remember, I guess the car is getting lighter and lighter now. Oh, Matthews is all the way back here. Is this pit stop really that long? That's worrying. Oh, that was a really ugly first chicane. Couldn't quite tell where Matthews was going to go there. It's a shame for Matthews. It looks like he's just looks like he's race is falling apart a little bit because we were having a great battle at the start. First 30 minutes, really. We were embroiled in a really good battle with him. She just joined the event halfway in. I don't think I've seen that before. I mean, it won't actually let them jump in and race, but it's still weird. Although it looks, I mean, I have 30 some odd seconds behind. A minute to 7th to the first person who's pitted behind me. So, we're definitely good right now. Just kind of need to use as much pace as I can here. And again, try and build that gap to the biggest number I can make it. I think if I can get that gap to about 90 seconds, that'll probably let me cover that person. Because fuel goes into these cars really slow. So the less fuel you have to take, the better off you probably are. Loeffler's made 3 pit stops, man. I mean, one of those has got to have been a penalty. He must have just been frustrated. Sped coming either in or out or something. He's usually very fast. Well, I say usually. Last week he was very fast. I guess I only have 1 week of racing with most of these guys. On the bright side, the guy behind them was lapped down that was being obnoxious. Is either pitted or wrecked or something, so he's out of my hair now. It looks like my gap to Frickin' and Loeffler is both steady or decreasing out of my favor, so looks like 9th place is really what I'm sort of shooting to cover. Again, I just have no idea how long the pit stop will actually be. Probably got 8 minutes of fuel left, so probably around 35 will come in. Just to be a little bit safe. Again, we don't want to run any risks of running out of fuel. Oh, that's somebody that's running in the pits. So now we're up to 4th. Looks like a bunch of the guys up front were pitting. Oh, there's still 1 person behind me who hasn't pitted, so that's 1 person that I also cover right now. So we might be actually fighting for 8th. That would be cool. And after finishing so low down last week. Although again, to be fair, a lot of people are missing this week, so I'm sure there are some fast guys who would definitely have given me a run here. But hey, you take advantage of the opportunities you get. That's for sure. Okay, so yeah, this person is lapped down at least. Now this is a situation where if it looks like I'm not going to clear them very fast, I might pit a little bit earlier than anticipated. If it looks like I'm actually going to get held up by them in any way. But if it looks like they're just going to pull over at some point for me, then we'll just stay on our 35. Again, the yellow fuel symbol, you guys can't see it, but the yellow fuel symbol on the top left just means we're below 10 liters. So we'll probably come in next lap to be safe. And at this point, we're still going to go ahead and switch tires. I don't think that's the correct move, but I think that is the safe move. I think I could easily race to the end with the tires I have on the car. But I think the safer move is just going to be go ahead and change tires and then have the best tires that I can possibly have at the end. But I think for the next race, if it is at a similar style track, then I'm actually going to try running 2 sets of softs. Oh, that was very, very nice of him there. That completely screw up the second Lesbo. The 2 Lesbos in particular are sort of the main reason why I want to go ahead and switch tires, because it's just, I'm so inconsistent there to begin with, that once the tires start to wear beyond a certain point, it's just, for me, it's safer to just be on fresh rubber. Alright, Bartola is finally in the pits. So now comes the big point of where do we come out? And the even bigger point of not speeding in pit lane, particularly on entry. Speed limit I think is 79 kilometers. Yep, 79. And the pit speed limit actually starts there at that sign. A lot of people will think it starts right there. 56.2. But it actually starts at the sign all the way back there. Oh, this is going to be a long stop. Belavante. Okay, so it does do fuel and tires at the same time, so taking tires was the right choice, because we might as well. Unless there's a standard amount of time you have to stop. Like, I have fuel in the car, the tires are on. I'm not sure why it's still holding me. Well, that's annoying. I was not expecting that. Alright, we did not get a stop and go. That is excellent news. We are racing that person. Wow, that was really dickish. That was really dickish of that guy. That is not cool. There's absolutely no reason for that. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt and assume he didn't mean to do that, but if he did, that was a big a-hole move. Now our tires will be cold for the first lap. We have to be really careful. And our brakes will not be optimal this first lap either. Hey, we came out in 7th though. That's a higher position than I thought we'd have coming out of the pits. The other thing is, anybody who's on hards will be doing the same times they were earlier. I should be able to push a little bit and get back to my speeds. Okay, we definitely have enough fuel, which is good. Got enough for 40 minutes. So I knew I was going a little conservative on the fuel number. Yeah, but the tires are not hot enough yet. It's really hard to predict how much grip you're going to get on turning. So now we just need to sit in this gap that we have to the finish, hopefully. Or potentially get up there and race with this guy, but again, if that move was on purpose, I'm not sure I really want to do that. Like, that's one of the issues with people that only watch the top tier of motorsport and don't understand. Again, not saying that's exactly what he was doing, but it's very indicative of people who do that. Generally, it's usually people who do that on purpose are usually the ones who watch the top tier motorsport and don't realize or don't really understand that those people are racing for literally millions of dollars. And that's why they are so ultra aggressive. Whereas in a race like this, there's absolutely no reason to be hyper aggressive. Oh man. The car is also heavier than it was before. It's going to take me a while to get used to again. You sort of get used to the way the car feels as it's rolling off weight, and then to suddenly put a bunch of fuel weight back on it. It's quite a bit trickier. Spilled a little bit on myself. Alright. Oh, the gap behind has opened up. That's good. That's good, good, good. Means we have much less pressure from behind. So we mostly are just worrying about this battle up in front here, in front of us here. Now I need to just get myself back in the rhythm I had before. Again, which is, it's one of the things I really envy with truly good race car drivers. The ones who can, literally you put in a ton of fuel and they can drive the car as if they've been driving it on that fuel weight the entire race. Like they just seem to be able to implicitly understand how the car is going to feel, no matter what weight it is, no matter what temperature the tires are or the brakes are. Like those are the drivers that are just amazing. When they can push at 100% of the car, the instant they get in it, no matter what its settings are, no matter what its fuel is. That's one of the things, as you notice now, I'm much more comfortable with the weight of the car, but it took me an entire 2 laps to get back to that point. Whereas the really good drivers will immediately feel out the differences, and within 2 corners, get back up to their speed, if even that. Car's sliding a little more than I would like, even though everything's nice and up to temp. There should also be a lot more rubber on track, so it's a little odd. Car feels fantastic on new tires, though. It really, really does. The other key is the guys that are on hard tires, which for this race you really shouldn't be on. The maximum tire you should be on is medium. But some of the guys will still be on hards just because that's the tire they're used to and because the tires wore so much last race. But the people that did choose to be on hard tires will start to struggle in about 10 laps, because their tires will finally start to fall off a tiny, tiny bit. They'll probably still finish around like 80% maximum, or minimum. Most of them will probably finish around 92, 93%, honestly. But even so, just that little bit less on the tire, and so many heat cycles around Monza, make the hard tire a little less what they want it to be at the end. Ugh. I'm not getting the brake feeling out of the car. That chicane again. I think I'm gonna have to back up my braking point a little bit more, which feels odd because I'm braking right where I was the whole race. At least it feels that way. My guess is I'm braking a little bit later than I realized, like I was at the beginning. Just 30 minutes left, so we're 2/3 of the way through. And we have more than enough fuel. We have 5 minutes extra coverage. I hope we have enough fuel. I put in extra, but I think when I pitted I had like 10 minutes extra, so the fact that I only have 5 minutes extra now is not super inspiring. I absolutely have to save fuel. Again, I've got around 20 seconds behind. And then I've got 53 seconds. So if I absolutely have to save fuel at some point, I'll probably only lose 1 spot for it. So that's sort of worst case scenario at this point. .52s are not good enough. I should be in 51s at this point. fresh tires and not even a full tank of fuel, I should easily be in the 51s for this. Grabbing a sandwich. Braking a little bit earlier this time. I think I may have just been lifting off the brake pedal without realizing it. Because that time I got too much efficiency. I think I'm just not hitting the pedal as hard as I need to be for some of the corners. That being said, it's also possible I've got a little bit of brake fade because I have not done a stint this long. And I didn't bother to check my brake pad size. And I did my longer stints the other day. So it is possible I've used up quite a bit of my brakes without really realizing it. But I don't think so. Usually these cars, I mean, 9 times out of 10, these GT cars in particular, I mean, even in a 24-hour race, they only do one brake change in the entire race, so their brakes seem to last for a long time. Catch up to him in that braking zone. Holy cow, do we ever. I'm gonna have to keep that in mind because if I'm really close to his bumper, I'm gonna have to split out to the side or brake really early. It seems like I'm getting much more brake efficiency than he is. At least for that first corner. And in that corner I get so much less efficiency out of them. It's funny how your brakes work like that sometimes. Although I guess, to be fair, in that first corner they're very cold and they heat up right at the end. In that second corner they're already really hot. Well, somebody took out the 50-meter board. That's not ideal. It's literally my exact braking point for the second Lesmo. So now with 26 minutes left, it's going to be a complete guess every single lap. Luckily for the Variante Ascari, I actually brake on a shadow, which doesn't really move very much over the course of a race. Pretty sure this is a lapped car ahead of us, considering there's 15 seconds ahead of Bricken. Looks like it's Belafonte. Hey, we're back at the 51s at least. 51.9, but it's still the 51s. Mostly I was just pulling out there because I had no idea how his brakes were going to work. I was worried the efficiency difference was going to be the same. Looks like he's really struggling with his car late in this race. Good news for me. Yeah, I'm just completely guessing there. I'm just gonna have to pick a shadow and stick with it. Oh, Bonner had to make a second stop. I was not paying any attention when that happened. I Basically, I'm going to pull way over here and give him the opportunity to easily slow down on his own if he wants to. Oh, come on, buddy. Come on, please, 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 thank you. I think he was trying to do it as close to the corner as he could safely do it, to impact his stuff as little as possible. But that's one of the reasons I wanted to pull out from behind him really early on that, to sort of give him, ooh, 50.6, fastest lap of the race for me. These are the kind of laps I need right now. But particularly for lapped cars, when I'm lapping somebody or when I'm being lapped, I like to give people the earliest, safest options like that. Because a lot of people will just stick right behind the lapped car to the last possible second. And that car's freaking out the whole time, like, oh god, do I lift, do I lift, do I not, what do I do? It was way too early on the brake that time. But, made for a good corner for once. I can't believe we might end up with a top 5 here, guys. How crazy would that be? That would be so awesome. We still got 20 minutes. Can't get ahead of ourselves here. Gotta stay nice and consistent and smooth. And the nice thing is, I have a setup on this car that feels that I feel confident even on low tire, even on worn tires, even on low fuel, on high fuel. Like, it's the first time in a long time I've had a setup that I feel really confident in the car all the time. Which makes a massive difference in how you drive it and how you feel about just pushing the car a little bit. I'm not even purposefully pushing, I'm just sort of using my pace at this point. Like, I'm not pushing, but at the same time I'm not pushing super hard to try and do anything crazy. I'm just using the pace the car has right now. For some reason, it's got a lot of pace to give right now, which makes me happy. Also, have I stated lately that I love RFactor? And getting these URD cars was a good choice. I did not get them for full price though, which helped. Split the price with a couple people, which made it much more bearable. But as far as paid mods go, they did a really good job with these cars. It looks like our fuel usage has stabilized, so we are 5 minutes to the good now. Because like I said, when we came in for our pit stop, it said we had 10 minutes to the good. And then about 5 minutes after that, it only said we had 5 minutes. So, but we still, that was at 35 left. Now with 25 left, we still are 5 minutes ahead of the timer. So it means our fuel usage has stabilized, and we are definitely 5 minutes to the good on fuel, which is very, very good. It means we have about 2 laps extra. Well, about a lap and a half, I guess. But either way, it's very, very good for us. So again, we just need to be consistent. We're not gaining on the guys ahead, we're pulling out a gap to the guy behind. So more or less, we just need to keep doing that. Just keep putting in consistent laps. I mean, if they can keep being in the 50s, that's fantastic. These are literally my fastest laps I've run, period. I mean, my fastest before was my qualifying lap, which was like a 50.4, 50.2. So if I can keep putting in 50s at all, then that's a very, very good pace for me to have. And this, for whatever reason, with my setup and this Viper, this seems to be the fuel weight that it seems to really, really love. It doesn't like being empty. It really doesn't like being super full. But when the tank is about a third to a half full is when this car seems to really be happy in terms of weight balance. Now it's very likely that a lot of that is my setup on it, but it makes this period of the race very, very nice. Oh, somebody got down to a 48.3. That's cooking. That's really cooking. Oh, that was one of my better parabolicas. Right out to the edge. Still, again, we're still in the 50s. That's really all I'm looking for right now. Just anything in the 50 range. Even in the 51s. Basically, anything in the 50s will pull me away from 6th place. Anything in the 51s will probably keep pace with 6th place. But even with my personal best laps, I'm still losing time to 4th. So 4th is definitely out of reach for me. Unless any of those guys have to pit again. But if none of them have to pit again, then 5th is the optimal that we're looking for, which is still, that would be great. I'm still far and away, every single lap. That first Lesmo is easily my worst corner. Every single freaking lap. That's also true. There's every possibility that somebody ahead will make a mistake. There's an equal opportunity that I will make a mistake, but hopefully not. I mean, I've run such a clean race up to this point, making a big mistake would be a huge disappointment, but it's always possible. And now we're just aiming for the finish. But it's one of the things with endurance racing, you have to be at least good all the way through. Oh, that was just weird. Oh, a couple guys just had to pit. We're in 3rd. We are in 3rd right now. We were just talking about mistakes and pit stops and interesting happenings. We are now in 3rd. What? Wow. All right, now we gotta calm ourselves down a little bit here. Still have a ton of time. Still have the opportunity for plenty of people behind to catch us, so we still gotta just keep on keeping on. Got 15 whole minutes. The guy directly ahead of me is a lapped car. Because the person in second is 46 seconds ahead, so it is definitely not this car. I think this is Liege or whatever his name is. Dielage. Whatever the guy that disconnected halfway through and then came back right afterwards. It's him. Basically, it's the other pink roof that I really don't want to have to deal with, so I hope I don't catch him. .51.1, still fine. Unfortunately, it looks like I am catching this guy a little bit every lap. I think we we have about, what, 7 laps left probably? Trying to be a little bit safer with my second chicane braking point now. Yeah, I was only 1300ths off the fastest Sector 1 time there. Evidently I'm getting through Sector 1 real well. I'm pretty positive Sector 2 is where I'm losing the bulk of my time. It's where I feel like I'm losing the most, and it's particularly those Lesmos. I'm pretty sure that's where I'm losing time if I am. For the motherland! Yeah, see, I was only 1300ths behind the fastest sector in first. And then in the second sector, I lose 1.1 seconds over that. So that, it feels like it's my weakest sector, and it definitely is my weakest sector by quite a long way. Although we'll see. It's possible I'm losing time in the third one, too. We're mostly looking at the gap to the bottom gap that it shows. We were at 1.1 in the second sector. So I'm losing in the second and third sectors. So I've got the first sector down, but the other two I'm losing about a second each. Which at this point in the race, I am not looking to make up 2 seconds per lap. But it's interesting to see just exactly where I'm losing all of that time. But it is good to know that I'm at least very strong in one of the sectors. Or I should say equally strong. That felt like a good Lesbo for once. And not having the 50-meter board is a little rough for that. Myself hydrated. Sort of tell I'm being safer and safer every single lap. Trying to take less and less risk, basically. Ooh, Loeffler is pushing hard. Luckily he's gonna run into Van before he gets to me. Well, theoretically anyway, assuming I'm keeping the gap stable, which it seems like I am. Because again, Loeffler is very fast. 4 pit stops though, that's crazy. Yeah, forgetting to drink is very bad. Nice, cool, clean bar. One of the many advantages to racing on a game instead of in real life. Almost an hour and a half into this event, my water is still nice and cool. Instead of probably boiling. I mean, it would be miserably hot in these cars. Oh, a little late on the brake there. 10 minutos. Now, if last time is any indication, this guy is not only not going to move over when I catch him, he's going to be a douche about it. And try and actually race me. But we'll see. Last time I was actually battling with his teammate, so that might have been a big part of it. It's still going to be about 2 laps, unless he makes a big mistake. It'll be about 2 laps before I actually get up to his bumper. Real shame if he chooses to cause an issue at this point, though. stay. Oh. I almost got it out into that dirty part of the track. If you go wide out of the parabolica, it's really slippery. Not only is it slippery, it gets slippery very quickly. Oh, he did get around him? Ooh. That means he's going to be pushing real hard. I'm pretty sure he's going to at least catch me. Then it's going to be a matter of trying to keep him behind as much as I can. Again, at this point, I don't want to throw away a top 5 just to battle with Loeffler. So if he gets up here and he's just insanely fast, I won't make it very hard. I'm obviously not just going to give up the position, but if he is insanely fast, then we're not going to give a real hard time to him. We will definitely try and keep him behind. The tough part will be if he's faster in a straight line, then there's not much I can do around here. If somebody's faster than you in a straight line around here, you just sort of have to deal with it. And again, at this point in the race, I'm being quite a bit safer than I was at the start. Changing tires was a good call for me, though. Again, I think more consistent drivers could have gotten away with not changing tires. But I think for me personally, it was a much better call than not changing them. So my front left is already back down to 90. Considering it was at 80 before, on the previous set it would have been about 70, 68 maybe. And I would have really been struggling, particularly for the parabolica, to keep it reeled in, reined in. Oh, excuse me. Leader is a minute and a half ahead. I wonder if he's coming around the lap. That could throw a kink in things real quickly if he's actually oh, that was not ideal. If he comes around to lap these guys and me. It's how it seems to go when you're either in a good position to fight for, or if you're in last. It seems like it goes by super slowly. The only time it goes by quickly is when you're trying to hunt somebody down and you're gaining on them every lap, then it seems like you don't have enough time. Every other time in racing, it seems like it slowly crawls by. I mean, the other thing is you become more acutely aware of it and you're looking at it much more often. So we should have 3 more laps. And the big key is I still have plenty of fuel. That's the thing I'm actually keeping the biggest eye on, honestly. This is the thing that will just flat out ruin your race. Oh, Loeffler is really catching up now. Unfortunately, he's pulling Van with him, which is not ideal for me. So I really needed to keep the gap to Van as big as possible. Because when Loeffler catches me, which he probably will before the end of the race, when he catches me, it's going to cost both of us time if I'm fighting with him for position. Looks like he's finally created a bit of a gap to Van, which is good. So basically, once that gap gets to about 2 seconds, then your draft is just gone. Now, actually, the situation with this guy ahead of me is actually working in my favor now, because he's close enough that I'm probably getting a draft now, but he's not so much slower than me that it's really worth him pulling over. So I'm actually getting a potential advantage out of him being here right now. carried so much more speed through there than I was expecting to. I don't know if my braking efficiency just wasn't there or what, but I had so much more speed into that Variante Estoril than I expected. It's a little better about a go. Well, it made me even more nervous, I'm sure. For a second, my heart was like, "Wah!" 50.1 is a good lap, though. The other trick is the car is much, much lighter now than it was before. Now, he should stay off to the left here. Yeah. I think he actually just blew the corner, but it worked out really well time-wise. Because basically, in that situation, I got all of the advantage I could possibly get, and Loeffler got 0 advantage. Because if we had passed him on track, there would have been a couple laps where Loeffler was getting the draft from the other guy. Whereas now, he didn't get any laps where he got a draft from him. Oh, it looks like he might actually be battling with him, which is bad. Went up there, he got by. A bit of poo came out. Yeah, he definitely lost time in that exchange. It's good for me. Like obviously the Lesmos and the Variante Estoril are the two sort of most dangerous high-speed areas. The Parabolica I've started taking safe enough. It's not really as high on the priority. I can't say anything is not a risk because every single corner is a risk at this point in the race. Whew. One more lap, I think, although considering where the leader is, probably 2 more laps, unfortunately. Because he's a minute and a half ahead, so we'll probably get around one more time. This is also one of the big reasons that I really like to put more fuel in than I need to cover any condition situations like this. Oh man, Loeffler's really good at braking for that first corner. He gained a ton of time there. Car's light enough now I'm putting in fast laps, or fast sectors. It's also light enough now that it's going to get dangerous if I push it a little too far. Oh, he's so much better through the Lesmos. Oh, this is going to be one heck of a last lap. I sacrificed the entry a little bit there. Oh, he's right on my bumper. Oh, the race might be over. If the leader did not get around again, then this will be our last lap. But I have a feeling he got around again because he does not have a flag by his name. Oh, he got through there so well. Wait, why did he go to the pits? Is he out of fuel? I don't think he had no fuel. We just have to keep it on track. We've got 10 seconds. Just keep it on track. Don't be an idiot. Alright, the leader just passed start-finish straight. Or just past the start-finish line. Just keep it on track. I mean, considering he made 4 pit stops, I almost feel like he just did a bunch of stints on either qualifying tires or just didn't get the fuel estimates right at all the entire time or something, like, because he made a bunch of pit stops. I guess it's also possible he had another penalty. If he was getting stop and go penalties and whatnot, he might have had like 5 laps to serve a penalty. Whew. If we can bring this home, this is awesome. Because these guys, as you guys have seen, these guys are fast. So coming home with a 3rd is awesome. The only unfortunate thing is I think it'll actually give me like a 75 kilo weight penalty for the next race. But that might have been a set of course where they did weight penalties. They might not do them here. Like if we have enough fuel, make it all the way around. We have enough fuel for another lap if we really needed it. Come on, just bring it home. Last corner! Podium finish! Holy cow. Whew. And a 50.4 on the last lap to boot. Holy cow. That was awesome. That was such a cool race. Again, it's unfortunate that we didn't have the full collection of people, but that was still awesome. Again, it's one of the main reasons that I love endurance style racing, whether you're doing it with multipliers or whether you're doing it with actual endurance racing. Because there's so much more involved. Like, just flat out by my speed, I should not have gotten 3rd. Like, I really, speed-wise, I probably should have been around 7th, 8th, maybe even 9th. So to be able to bring it home 3rd is friggin' awesome. Oh, that was such a fun race. And also, it goes a long way to show just how much difference a decent setup can make. Because last week, or not last week, 2 weeks ago at Estoril, I was having a hell of a time just even driving the car, just getting it around the track. And this week the car was super stable, on low fuel, on high fuel, on worn tires, on new tires. Like, no matter what I threw at the car, it was super, super stable. So really, getting that confidence in the car is super, super useful. And again, by no means do I have to do this cooldown lap, but it's always fun to do. Well, that's gonna really help my points. Alright, Flex. The scary thing is there were a few points in there where it looked like some bad stuff was gonna happen. Oh, I didn't get to bring it all the way back in. Oh, that was friggin' awesome. Right. So that was a pretty good race, if I do say so myself. Actually managed to finish 3rd in amidst all of these really fast revs guys. So hopefully you all enjoyed yourself. I know I sure as heck enjoyed that race, and hopefully the next ones will be just as interesting. But as usual, I thank all of you guys very much for stopping by. I will see you all later.